Life really lifing sometimes. So this week, the kids went back to school and our whole entire schedule changed once again. But this episode is more than the kids going back to school. It's about what happens when your business, kids, family situations, loss, and personal responsibilities all starts happening at the same time. So the question is, can your schedule handle your real life? And more importantly, can your business handle it as well? Hey, I'm Shaytoya. I've spent more than 10 years in construction, working behind the scenes in marketing, hiring, and I've seen how overwhelming it can be to grow a business. That's how we've learned to build a sustainable business using clear systems, strong communication, and intentional recruiting. If you're ready for better hiring, smarter remarketing, and a business that doesn't fall apart when you step away, welcome to Building Better Contractor Businesses. So the kids went back to school. And last year, I picked them up at 2 p.m., which meant I did not have much time to get real things done that needed to be done. And after that, it was pickup from homework, activities, dinner, and everything else that comes with being a mom. This year, we decided to do a school program after school. That personally gives me more time of uninterrupted time during the day to focus on the business and get things done. It also means when the kids do come home, I can be more present instead of having to focus on finishing the things that I did not get completed earlier. And so we had to look at what was working and what did we have to change. Life isn't always going to happen the way that you planned. So to be completely honest with you guys, life has been a lot for us lately. Around November, Thanksgiving time, my grandpa passed away. And then right after that, business slowed down. And then we found out some news about my husband's family that we are still currently going through, unfortunately. And so we've been going through it. We've been dealing with a lot. And honestly, we're still dealing with it. And the truth is, all of these things that we're currently going through seem to be months apart. There's been times when all I wanted to do was stop everything and just cry. And the truth is, I did cry sometimes. I needed to process what was happening. But at the end of the day, we still have a business to run. We still have children. We still have employees, customers, bills, and real responsibilities. And so the biggest thing that I could tell you guys is that we do not ignore our feelings or act like everything is okay. That's why I've been very, very honest on this podcast. But it means we give ourselves some grace. We make the changes that we need to make and then get back to our responsibilities. The truth is, something in life will always be happening, from your children's schedule, maybe a loved one's health problems, or maybe even you having a health problem. It could also be a family situation that is unfortunate, or it also may be business slowing down. The truth is, we cannot wait for life to become perfect before we start building our businesses. It's just like having children. Some people say, I will have children when life is perfect. Truth is, life will never be perfect. So one of the things that I really learned this year, and maybe I knew it before, but this year really showed me from personal experiences that life and business are not black and white. Sometimes we create plans and they fail. We follow the steps. We do everything we believe we're supposed to do. And for whatever reason, things still don't go the way we expected. I would say with my firstborn, the same thing occurred. Had a plan, and unfortunately, I ended up with a blood clot. So it did not go as planned until we had to change the plan. Because that's the way life goes. Sometimes projects may take longer than planned. Business may slow down, but these are things that we have to, be okay to not always go with the plan. And sometimes that can be very difficult. Sometimes someone gets sick, and then because you have children, it's like a cycle that's over and over and over again. Your entire schedule changes. Because of life changes, the decision that you made does not mean it was wrong. But you did not plan for what occurred to happen. So you did not make the wrong decision. You just didn't know the situation that was actually going to come. Sometimes life does not follow our plan. Having a plan is super important, but we also have to leave room to adjust. Our schedule is to guide us. It is not to make us feel like we are failures when something unexpected happens. We have to look at what's happening right now and make changes and execute. And we have to decide what is important at this time of our lives. And we have to be able to make decisions with the information that we have the best we can. And sometimes that means changing the plan. Sometimes it means slowing down because that is what's needed for you at that moment. It also means asking for help. And when you ask for help, most of the time people are willing to help you. And sometimes it means letting go of something that is no longer working. So a plan just gives us a direction. But because of life, and sometimes life be lifing, we have to be flexible and just show up the best we can. I don't believe that children hold you back. The children you have are part of you. Make them part of the plan. So the answer is not to act like those responsibilities do not exist. A lot of times as entrepreneurs or someone who's running a business where we're like, oh, that does not exist, or we try to ignore it. But when you ignore those things, it could make things worse. So that the answer is to build a schedule that includes those extra responsibilities, those problems. So at this moment of my life, I've had to decide that picking up the kids at 2 p.m. is not realistic, unfortunately. But I had to find something that is. And that is picking them up a little bit later. That way I have an extra hour, maybe 2, to actually complete the things that matter. So the after-school program gives me more time to focus on my work. And then also, to be completely honest with you, it gives me time to also possibly work out as well, which is important too for my sanity. And so that decision was made based on what our family needed at this moment. What worked last year does not mean that's going to work this year. This year, we have other things going on that we have to pivot. So your schedule needs to reflect the life you actually have at the moment. So if you have drop-offs, put them on your schedule. If you pick up your children from school, if you have activities, for me, I have speech, I have soccer, I have other family responsibilities, I need to put that on my schedule as well. And then you are able to really see how much time you really have to get your work done. So if you do not have a 10-hour workday, don't plan for a 10-hour workday. Be realistic. Be honest about your time. Once you know what is realistic about what you can actually do, it's a lot easier and not as overwhelming. And creating a schedule is not enough. You really have to look at it. You have to review it. I recommend at least the night before, so you know what's ahead. I always like to ask myself, what meetings do I have tomorrow? Because that is what is going to help me plan for the rest of the day. What deadlines are coming up? There's things that you have to complete. There's no ifs or buts. What are some of the important things right now that needs to be completed? Is there anything that I could possibly cancel or even delegate for someone else to do? And then sometimes also really looking at the things that you're part of, you'll be like, unfortunately, at this moment, I cannot do that anymore. For us to understand that running a business and raising a family is not black and white, and things may not always work out the way planned. Reviewing your schedule is going to help you before things become an emergency. So planning only works if you follow the plan. And the truth is, I am still working on this myself. And I personally feel sometimes like I have kind of fallen back a little bit because of life, and life has been lifing, that I may not be as consistent as I once was, but I'm working on it. That it is very important that we do not allow phone calls, emails, employees, customers take over our entire day, which can be very, very easy to do if you allow that to happen. Because if everything is a priority, there really is not a priority. So we have to protect our time that we have and is set aside for important tasks. I also think it's very, very important that you schedule things such as, hey, on Friday evenings, I want to take my son for ice cream. Those are things that should not get in your way. And if you plan for it, put it on your calendar. Fridays at 5 p.m., I'm taking Johnny to get ice cream, or do whatever you want to do, or just one-on-one. But that way nothing gets scheduled and nobody can take that time away from you. I think that is very, very important. So as things change, make changes and execute. Because of life, and life's been lifing throughout the years, my husband and I have become very good at seeing a problem and executing. But also, it's very important as things happen that we take a breather and we're like, things are going to be okay. So today, let's make a plan and execute that plan. Sitting around and thinking about the problem will not help you fix it. So the question is, can your business handle your real life? That is the bigger question. If you have a real, true family emergency, can your business continue? And if you need to take a day off, does everything stop? So ask yourself again, can your business continue when real life needs your attention? The truth is, unfortunately, we cannot prepare for every situation, but we can build a business that does not completely fall apart whenever real life needs our attention. This requires systems, communication, and delegation and planning. The truth is, life really be lifing sometimes. There will be some things always happening. Your children are not holding you back. Your children are part of that life that you are creating. And you do have to plan for the life you actually have and give yourself grace when things are difficult. And that can be sometimes so hard to do. Cry when you need to cry. That's okay. We all cry. Take a moment when you need a moment, and then review the plan by making the necessary changes and get back to your responsibilities. We all have families to care for. We all have customers depending on us, and we have businesses to run. At the end of the day, you may not be able to control what happens to your life, but what we can do is control how we adjust, how we plan, and how we execute. Until next time, let's continue building a better contractor business. If you believe that this episode brought you real clarity, be sure to share it with another contractor who also needs it. And if you want to keep this conversation going, be sure to join our community of contractors inside Building Better Contractor Businesses Facebook group. This is a community where we talk through the real problems that you are having in your business. The link will be found in our show notes. And remember, we are not just completing projects. We are building better contractor businesses. I will see you next time.